Neaerys was the only true wife of King Aegon IV, the Unworthy. Neaerys had the traditional Targaryen looks, a fine and delicate beauty, almost described as unworldly. She was slender and small, with big purple eyes and fine, pale porcelain skin. She dressed well, but simply, and seldom wore her crown or any other jewelry. Though she had the silver gold hair of the Targaryens, she often bound it beneath a hairnet or concealed it beneath a cowl. As a person, it is said that Neaerys was pious, gentle and frail. While she did her duty and married her brother, Prince Aegon, it was very much against her will, with many historians claiming she would much rather have wed her other brother, Prince Aemon, the dragonknight, with Aemon too heartbroken by the marriage of Neaerys to his elder brother. The truth about Aegon's relationship with his wife is she is perhaps the one woman that King Aegon bedded, in whom he took no pleasure, someone and something he saw as more of a chore, which only deepened Neaerys' resentment towards her husband, given the kind of woman she was, being pious, gentle and frail. All of these things the king misliked in his women, with his type almost being wholly opposite to his wife. Needless to say, despite both parties' displeasure in it, Neaerys did bear the king a child, a trueborn son and heir. Over his life, King Aegon would father several bastards of the like of Daemon Blackfyre, but he would only ever have one living trueborn son. While looking back at history, we could see how this could have been an issue, but it must be remembered King Aegon III was still alive and well, with the succession seemingly secure in his sons Daeron the Young Dragon and Baelor the Blessed. Thus, with Aegon so far down the line of succession, it really wouldn't have been an issue, even if he had a dozen base-born children. What would it matter? Regardless, they both went about their duty. Childbirth also proved a trial to Neaerys. She was small and delicate, somewhat like the daughter of the old King Jaehaerys the Conciliator, Princess Daela, who sadly lost her life birthing Aemma Arryn, the wife of King Viserys I Targaryen, and thus the mother to Rhaenyra Targaryen, in 82 AC. Prince Dearon was born on the last day of 153 AC. Again, he bore the traditional Targaryen look of old Valyria. It is said he was round-shouldered, with thin legs and a slight pot belly. He apparently had a kind, thoughtful face, with eyes with clear resolve and strength. Unlike his father, he was seen as wise and kind-hearted, not a warrior, but highly cultured and very much a scholar who liked to keep the company of learned men around him. During the reign of King Baelor the Blessed, when it became clear that he would father no children, and thus Aegon's father, Viserys, would become king, with Aegon thus becoming his heir. The birth of a son and heir to King Aegon IV in the form of Prince Daeron in 153 was a relief to all. When Aegon became his father's heir at the death of Baelor in 171 AC, Prince Daeron was already a man grown at the age of 18, despite the crown moving to another branch of House Targaryen. In doing so, again, it would have seemed as if the succession was firm and secure. But if Targaryen history has taught us anything, it is that even if you have a competent, strong heir, the ideal Prince of Dragonstone, there is always the need for a spare, as who is to know what tragedies the gods might have in mind that could plague Westeros into more chaos, bloodshed and war. And herein was the issue. After Daeron's troubled birth in 153 AC, the Grand Maester named Ulfred warned that another pregnancy might very well kill Neaerys. Neaerys was said to address her brother thus: "I have done my duty to you, and given you an heir and a son. I beg you, let us live henceforth as brother and sister, and not husband and wife." We are told that Aegon replied, "That is what we are doing." Aegon continued to insist his sister perform her wifely duties for the rest of her life. Throughout the years, Neaerys went through several more difficult pregnancies, despite Ulfred's warning that another pregnancy could very well kill her. In 161 AC, Neaerys nearly died giving birth to twins, and the twins' death shortly after birth led King Baelor I Targaryen to fast for a moon's turn. Baelor also sent Neaerys' husband, Aegon, to Braavos on a diplomatic mission after this pregnancy. Accounts at the time suggest it was an excuse to make sure Aegon left Neaerys alone as she recovered from her difficult childbirth. Despite the warnings, Neaerys would fall pregnant several times once Aegon had become king, with only one of those children surviving, a girl she called Daenerys, born in 172 AC, 19 years after the birth of her only trueborn sibling. Prince Daeron. Matters between Aegon and Neaerys were inflamed further by Prince Aemon the dragonknight, their brother, who had been inseparable from Neaerys when they were young. Aegon's resentment of his noble, celebrated brother was plain for all to see, for the king delighted in slighting Aemon and Neaerys both at every turn. Even after the Dragon Knight died in his defence, and Queen Neaerys perished in the charbed the year after, Aegon IV did little to honour their memory. In fact, he would slander them at every opportunity he could, even perpetuating the rumour that Aemon was in fact the true father of Prince Daeron, and not himself. Rumours such as this, regardless of their truth, would only work to fracture House Targaryen even more in the bloody years to come.